Current events, injustice, police brutality, systematic racism, politics. What say ye? Enough said. Welcome back to another episode of Enough Said with your hosts, Jemo, Carolite, and Cherry Poet. Today's topic will be interracial relationships. Jemo, what say ye?
Let me just make a disclaimer first that what we say is just our opinion. It's not what you should run with or take as gospel or take as law, and don't sue us for any reason. We're just giving our opinion. So with that, who wants to start?
What say ye, Cherry Poet?
Interracial relationships, I don't know. It's funny. It doesn't bother me when different races interact, but when it comes to interacting with white people, for some reason, it's kind of funny to me.
Are you racist, Cherry Poet?
It's just different. I don't know why it's different. If I see a black guy with an Asian girl, with a Latino girl, with a Mexican girl, an African girl, whatever, it doesn't bother me. But for some reason, when it's a white girl, it bothers me. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't treat them any differently. I don't treat them bad or anything, but it does something to me. I can't put my finger on it.
What if you see a black girl with a white man?
Can't put my finger on it. I don't,
But both ways bother you.
For some reason, I feel like it's a sellout.
Yeah.
Like they've sold out or something. I was watching this gentleman the other day talking to a man who's married to a white woman, and he was saying how his wife is white, but he does all these things for racial inequality and all this fighting for rights and stuff like that. And so the black guy says to him, I don't care what you do for black rights and for the cause and all that, but at the end of the day, you want to big yourself up for all the fighting you do for black rights. He's like, but at the end of the day, you didn't think enough of a black woman to make her your wife.
What I'm telling you is this: I don't care who you name. I don't care how much work you did for black people. Your greatest commitment to black people is being committed to a black woman. It is still a contradiction. No matter how much you think you did for the struggle, if you really were concerned with black people, you would commit yourself to a black woman. So it doesn't matter how successful they are. It doesn't matter how great you may claim them to be. At the end of the day, you didn't think enough about your own people to marry a woman who looks like you.
And that's kind of how I feel when I see black people with dating white people. I feel like it's this sellout.
This is such a difficult topic because you see, if you're from a mentality where you do not have any idea about racism at all, seeing interracial relationships wouldn't bother you at all because it's just a man and a woman coming together. Unfortunately, especially in America where racism is still rampant, when you see interracial couples, mostly in America, I don't know about other areas in the world, what I see most of the time, and let me just put a percentage of it on it, 90% of the time, the interracial relationships that I see, the black person is always doing way better than the white. In most of the superstar, the celebrities relationship, what I see is a black man most of the time who has some form of celebrity superstardom, and then when you see his white wife, you're going, who is she? So the only superstars that I've ever seen are, no, seriously, the only ones I've ever seen is Seal and Heidi Klum. Because Heidi Klum modeled, Seal is black and sang, and then you see two people almost of the same caliber coming together. So the issue I have with this black and white relationship is not that those two people may or may not be in love, is it cannot be natural that it's only when the black, most of the time, apart from with the millenniums now, let's just kind of not think about the millenniums right now. But before millenniums, it was mostly the black, whether she is a female or the male, she's mostly doing better than the white. To me, that cannot be natural. I'm telling you, it cannot be natural. I've never seen a superstar white woman go to the ghetto and pick a ghetto guy who is not making any money and say, oh, I just fell in love with him. And that is what love is all about.
Common everyday man. Well, I know some I can tell you about that are married, and none of them are superstars, and none of them are making, one might be making a lot of money, one is just an ordinary person, they're interracial. So
right, but usually the black is doing better than the white, admit it.
No, not all the time. Back in the
Most
day,
of the time.
but not now. Things have changed. Things have really changed. What say you, Cherry?
I sort of agree with Caroline, you know, like she said, you know, aside from the younger ones just coming up, for the most part, every celebrity you see out there who is black, 90% of them have white wives. And why is that? You know, why was it okay for them to date black girls before they got rich? And then they get rich and all of a sudden they're in love with white women. I don't get it.
Well, I've heard them say,
and we all know that as soon as white women see a black man with money, she goes after him. We know that.
Immediately.
So
she falls
I'm
in
not
love.
saying I'm not saying she doesn't love him after the fact, but the initial reason for dating him wasn't love. It was about his money.
Not always. You guys are generalizing. Go ahead.
My point is, for example, if I like, say I like men from Spain. If I like men from Spain, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go among the Spanish and try to find somebody there because that's the type of guy I like. If white women loved black men, period, without anything attached to them, why aren't you going to poor neighborhoods? And because we have a lot of nice, fine black studs in the poor neighborhood, but you never see them.
Because the chemistry don't even work that way. So you have to see somebody over a period of time. You have to go to the poor neighborhoods every day for a year before you find one person that you have chemistry with. So technically it doesn't work that way. And I just want to say that if you're in a serious relationship with an interracial couple, this is what I want to say. The men, you're not giving the black men any credit. They're also looking for the white women in some cases. And they're saying, the rich black guy, and they're saying that white woman has more patience, more tolerance, and handles money better. I'm not saying they're right. I disagree with it, but that's what they're saying. That's why they do.
And yet they will turn around and tell you, oh, I love my mama, and their mama is black. So there is a psychological thing on the black men's part. And I believe, remember again, you see this a lot in countries where racism exists. Because without racism, I am not sure that the black man would gravitate so much to the white woman, because the black woman would be doing just as well as the white woman without racism. And when we are making white money, when we're making Donald Trump money, we are like Melania. What's her name?
Melania.
What's his name? Melania. How could you be making money like that? We become Kim Kardashian. We are black people, but when we make Oprah's money, we become Oprah. So what is it? Are they telling you we prefer the white lady? Why is the white lady like she is?
Canada, where it's very mixed. You have non-celebrities, black and white together, low income, middle income, white income. You have more interracial, I'm not saying totally, more interracial couples I've seen there than in the United States, even though the United States is getting better now over time. And there are all income levels, and their racism it's there, but it's not as strong as it is in the United States.
Exactly, and that's my point.
Let me give you guys a joke. I was talking to this guy, this American guy, and he has a white girlfriend. So I was like, why do you black guys love these white girls like that? I said, I could never see myself with a white man. He was like, yeah, because that's a white dude. Like he would be, like if he saw me with a white guy, he'd be all upset. Like, yeah, that's a white guy. You can't be with a white dude, but yeah, we can mess with the girls. So even they look at it differently.
Doesn't make sense.
Even the black guy dating the white girl feels some kind of way when the black girl dates the white guy.
That's just jealousy.
Because the black man knows that he has what the white girls want. That's the difference. But then he looks at you as a black woman and say, what does that white guy have that you really want so much, apart from money?
Money.
Yes, money.
There are white guys who are well endowed too. So, even though the black men are known to be more endowed, generally speaking, and it's not just about that, guys. It's personality, how you click, how you get along, all of that. You're not looking at it too narrowly.
I'm not sure if the endowed white guys is gonna be looking out for no black woman.
Oh yes, they do. I know black women who have dated endowed white guys. Not
really now.
No.
Come on. No, let's just keep it real. If it's real and if it's natural, like you say, when racism is kind of rolled back a little bit in England, you'll see an ordinary black guy with an ordinary white lady. You'll see vice versa. You'll see, ordinary black ladies with ordinary white men. You don't see that in America. And the question is,
you just
it happens, but I'm just saying, in general, in the greater scheme of things. So you have to look at it. It's like, if you have to look at it on a holistic level and say, this cannot be that these people, as soon as, let's talk about a comedian. Some of them will admit we were thugs. That's what they call themselves. When they were in their thug life, no, even though they were doing comedy, no white woman is chasing them. As soon as they make that money, all these white women are chasing them.
Because they know them now. They never knew them when they were in their thug life. They didn't know them at that time. It's who you know and who you associate.
Because that's what they're after. They're after that money. You know that show. Oh God, what's the show called? It's a black show about some football players. One of them is married to a white girl. And on one of the episodes, they're in some argument, and he says to her, "You don't love me," and she says, "I gotta admit, like I didn't love you when we first hooked up. When we first hooked up, it was about your money, but now I love you. After being with you." And
that can happen with a black woman as well.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
Gold diggers.
Yeah.
It's
gold diggers and turn around and take you for everything you've got later on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's another thing. How is it that they love these black guys so much, and as soon as a black guy do something that they're not getting some financial benefit for, they turn on them like crazy.
You know why? Because they turn on their white guys like crazy as soon as they're not doing anything for them financially too. So it's not always just a black and white thing. It's just some women love money and some don't, and some are and some are not. Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll tell you about a producer friend of mine. Has a white wife, pretty cool girl. I'm cool with her and everything. And, he told me, he said, when you're a black guy and people don't respect you and you're trying to make it in life, having a white wife helps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said, and his exact words were, the ugly they see in me, once they see her on my arm, they look at me totally different.
Wow.
So he says, whatever ugly they see in me, they don't see it when I have a white wife.
Plus your credit score.
More opportunities open up for them. or something like that. But you know, my thing is, for
Your
me,
credit score go up.
for me, I don't care who wants to date who. But as for me, I'd rather date a man who looks like me. You know,
For me,
Well, don't
I'd
limit
rather
yourself,
have
Cherry. Don't
I'd
limit
rather
yourself.
have kids who look like me than have. I remember. I'm sorry, I'm saying, but I brought a friend home one time to meet mom, and she came with her son, and her son was like, looked like a little white boy. And you know, mom treated them really nice and everything. But when they left, mom said, who is the little boy? And she wasn't trying to be funny, but it was just really like, who was the little boy with your friend? You know what I mean? And I'm like,
Those days are done, though,
I'm like, mom,
guys.
it's her, you know, that's her son. And me, as for me, I don't want that problem. If you see
It's
me
not a
walking with a
problem.
child, if you see me walking with a child that is mine, that child better be looking like me. I don't want a child that looks
That's
white
not
at
a
all.
problem once you love that child. It's not a problem. You guys are
Well,
very,
I don't like
very,
that idea.
you
I
guys are
can't
looking
see
at it
anything
very
doing it.
narrowly, very narrowly.
I don't have a
I want my
problem
kids to
if
look like
I
me.
don't have a problem if the love is real, but what I have a problem with is every white woman and every black man and vice versa knows when somebody's with you because of love versus when they're with you only because of what you have. You have the Michael Jordans who know that they would never date him if he didn't have the basketball skills. You have the comedians who know that if they weren't great comedians, these women wouldn't take a second look at them. The musicians, they know that in the depth of their heart, they know it. So my thing is, most of the time, you know, as a black person, that the love is not real. Because if somebody can't love you without what you have, that person cannot love you, period.
Well, y'all better have prenups.
But Caroline, you know, what if, because I've seen, you know, a lot of black guys treat black women like, you know, crap. They treat them horribly, and then they go with a white woman, and all of a sudden they're this gentleman and they're this hard worker. And so what if the black man needs that motivation? Not the black man, but what if some black men feel like they need that motivation? Like, I know she doesn't love me. I know if I lose this money, I can't have her. So that motivates me to keep going and to keep making that money. What if that's the case?
And lynching also motivates.
What if being with her is that drive that he needs?
Lynching is also a great motivator. So you better treat that white woman good.
I would say they lack self-esteem if they're just going just for motivation with a white person. They are a person of another race. They need to do a little bit more than be motivated by that person, unless they just love the person's spirit or personality or something like that. But just to go because that person is white and they motivate you, you lack self-esteem.
Well, I've heard black men say that black women are loud, you know, black women love to complain, they love to fight, and a man don't necessarily want that in his relationship. So
stereotypes.
What he wants is the white lady who will, okay, honey, okay, honey, okay, honey. And then she gets on the phone with mom and say, you wouldn't believe what this such and such does to me. So in other words, it's a lot of the relationships that I have observed, it's just so hypocritical. You see, the white women play a game in relationship that a lot of black women haven't mastered. And that game is, do not tell my spouse exactly how I feel about him in terms of the things that he's doing to annoy the mess out of me. A black woman quickly tells the spouse that. So what she will do is she'll provide what I call this fake atmosphere to make the man feel everything is wonderful and good. And then she takes that emotion and that anger that she has and she take it somewhere else.
And she kill him for insurance money.
And kill him for his insurance.
Again, guys, I have to discredit and disclaim here, not for all the white folks who may be looking at this, that's a very broad brush that you're painting the white woman with, or the white man, or the white race. You know, I do believe there's love in most of these instances when they get together. Look at Kobe Bryant and his wife, and she was torn up when he died, and he cheated on her, and she forgave him and all that. People say,
yeah, after what, a $6 million ring?
People, well, he chose to give her that, but
$6 million ring.
That was his makeup price. I didn't think she asked him for it. That's what he went out and bought to make up for it. And
exactly.
I just
$3 million, whatever the case was.
He did that. But you know, you have to believe in love.
I believe in love, but we have to apply common sense to knowledge. If you put a group of young kids together in a classroom, what you will notice is two kids just automatically gravitate to each other. It's not about what the other kid have. It's not about how the other kid look. It's not about, there's a form of chemistry that God built in human that causes two people to gravitate to each other. However, when you're in a society where it's only until one person reaches a certain status that another race of person can gravitate towards them, then you question the love. Is it really love, or is it because that person has reached a certain status?
All the movie stars say that. All the famous people and the sports people and the people with money say that. If I didn't have, it's not a race issue. A white man said, if I didn't have any money, this woman would not have gravitated towards me now as they do now. So it's across the board.
And then you know, with that said too, you have Black women who they're only about that money, you know. So if they go into a club, they're looking for the guy that has that money, the guy that has the big car, and the guy that has the big account. So you know, you have women like that in general. But
yes,
you know,
we have gold diggers. We do have gold diggers, and that is separate in both race. That is separate and apart from 90% of our famous and rich and you know what we would look up to as our idol or our whatever Black men. They're dating in America. They date white women. And guess what shocked me the other day? Even Frederick Douglass, the most amazing freedom fighter, after he divorced his Black wife, he ended up with a white woman during the most prejudiced time in America.
In his defense, he says, well, I tried it with a Black woman, it didn't work, so let me try it with a white.
Okay. And that's okay. I'm not saying anything is wrong with that on his part. My question is, would this white woman even know, where was that white woman when he was in the drench down there fighting for Black freedom? Where were the whites? Were they down there with him? It was the Black woman who was down there with him. So it makes you wonder, we, the Black woman, now must go through the struggle with the Black man. We must go through all of this stuff. We must iron their clothes and give them their daily meals and everything. And then afterwards, what they do. How should the Black woman feel?
You know that comedian Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
Well, his first wife, or I don't know if she was his baby mom or if they were married or whatever, but they had a bad breakup, and I believe they have kids together. And then he blew up and left her and started dating some supermodel looking chick. So
who's half Jamaican, by the way.
So he's on some interview and he's saying how the new woman, his wife now, how she's his rib. You know, so the first girl says, yeah, when you got all that money, of course she could gonna be your rib. You know what I mean? But who was with you when you ain't had nothing? When you were struggling trying to make it? Who was with you and was holding you down? Who was there for you?
His wife is Black, so I don't get it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Light skin.
I'm
she's
just
half
saying.
Jamaican. She's good. She's fine. They look good together. Leave her alone. They're doing great. She would have married him whether she were light skin or dark skin. That's
Not
just
if he lost his money.
Yeah.
well, then it's not just a white and black issue then, because she's black. So
Yeah.
it must be a human
Well, that's what
nature.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have black
Okay.
women who only are about that money. So
A man said to his, a man
both
said,
ways. It's just that it rubs you kind of the wrong way because you feel like, you know, when you see the celebrities come up and they succeed and you're looking up to them, it's like a spit in your
that's
face.
just the ones that are visible, because there's a lot of common men who are a lot of interracial couples in the US. You guys have to broaden your brush and look more.
They are.
They're ordinary
They are.
people. A man said to his, go ahead.
I do want to say, these are the reasons now why I admire people like Denzel Washington, who never got a mother wife. I mean, he just got his wife who was with him before he blew up, and he's with her after he blew up. And it's very few Black celebrity men that you can see that. Now, not only are we talking about white women too, you know, it's also the lighter shade of woman. It's like Black men are cultured to feel that the closer to white you are, the better you are. And when they don't understand, when you do this thing, when you're constantly dating white woman, once you become somebody, quote unquote somebody, and then you go to lighter skinned girls, you know, the darker skinned woman, like your mom who raised you, your sisters who are dark, you are sending a message. This is what Black men are not getting. You're sending a message to the Black woman that she is not good enough.
A lot of these Black men realize too that life has been so hard for them. They've been discriminated against so much. They've been made to feel so small, and have had to work harder for everything. And they feel like, you know, I don't want my kids to have to go through it. So let me get a white woman. I won't have nappy-headed kids, you know, and they won't have to go through what I went through. So he doesn't care about the fact that his mama is Black and his sisters feel some kind of way and that he's spitting in their faces. He doesn't care about that. What he cares about is that his kids are going to come now. Because, you know, I don't want to talk too much about Kobe, but notice how Kobe moved. You know, she's not a Latino, or I'm not sure what she is.
Italian.
Well, he got her, got the white skin looking kids. And when he died, did you see what happened at his funeral? His Black family was like in the corner. You know, the mom, the father, and all his little cousins and nieces and all them were like in this one row, and not one of them got a chance to say anything at the funeral.
I didn't notice.
One of them got a chance to say anything, and that's what I'm talking about. You see what I mean?
That's not the norm. That's not the norm. It has a lot to do with your personality, because if you are Black and you say, I have to say something at that funeral, they better make his side of the family say. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about Kobe.
Everybody came and hugged up on the wife and all this stuff, and it was never mentioned. It was crazy. People had to
I'm not
ask,
sure
like,
he got along with his family though, Cherry Poet. We'd have to see.
That's not the point. That's not the point. Remember, his father is the reason why he became a big star. His father was the one who coached him. Like, you don't walk away from your mom and your dad, no matter what. And even in death, they should have enough respect to know that, look, let them say their piece. Let them have something to say. They didn't give him a chance.
Well, I don't know the behind story, but that looks bad for real if the Black family didn't participate. But I don't know the story behind it.
It's a societal thing. Society have made Black people feel that the lighter you are or the whiter you are, the better you are. And Black people have bought into that lie.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it is important to keep your race alive, stay woke. You know, if you blow up, give that money, take care of your own people who look like you. That's what I'm
these
feeling.
days, let's mix it all together. Everybody,
all right.
All
Most
get along.
Mix it all up. I say stick to your own. Carol said, white ain't always right. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to Enough Said. We may not say what you like, but we speak for a whole lot of people.
We keep it real.
Yes, we keep it real. Y'all stay tuned. See you next time.
Subscribe, like, please share.
Current events, injustice, police brutality, systematic racism, politics. What say ye? Enough said.